All right, welcome back to the PE Forecast. Today we have Samuel, Clem and George in the building with me, Josh, as your host. We have no AJ, again, letting the team down, but he did actually leave a message for the team, and especially for George as he's here to fill the seat. See if I can pull this off in my Russell Crowe voice.
Oh, yeah, come on.
The fate has kept me from today's battlefield.
You gotta stick it. You gotta go.
You gotta sing it, man. That's what you gotta do. You gotta go with it. How'd you get to lock in all the way?
Fate has kept me from today's battlefield. My spirit rides with you into the arena of ideas. George, today you wear the armor. Wield the microphone as your sword. Strike with the wisdom of 1,000 episodes. Remember, what we do in life echoes in eternity. Go forth, make the audience weep, laugh, and rise to their feet. And should I fall in absence, know I have left the podcast in the hands of 4 men, 4 great men. That's awful.
Right, AJ,
But-
man, that guy.
What we do in life, it's going to echo into eternity.
ChatGPT, man, let's go.
That's a terrible Russell Crowe impersonation.
I
But
couldn't even tell. I thought he was in the room with us.
we'll find out. I'll try some other impersonations another time. When it's time to be cancelled forever. Final episode
Yes.
ever of all time will be some impersonations.
yes.
All right. Today's topic, we are talking about a different side of PDHPE, not so much the sport side, but some of the theory side of things. I've got a question for you guys. What is more important, mental strength or physical strength? What do we think?
Go on. Say what you're gonna
Shall I
say.
start?
Say what
Go,
you're gonna
Sam.
say, man. Say what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna say mental.
Okay.
I'm not just saying this because I'm skinny, but I'm saying this because I could back myself in a 1v1 if I'm gonna step someone or pace. But in a game where I know I've got skills, let's say for footy or for basketball, I know what will let me down is up here. And
Yeah.
so I think being mentally strong for sport or just in general life is more important or is more beneficial.
Yeah, I would agree on that. And I would also go to say the guys who are best at their field in anything in sports, your best basketball players, your best footy players, they've mastered the mental side before they've...
They've got that mental edge.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what separates the goods from the greats is the mental side and being able to step up.
Yeah, that's nice. Look, obviously, I'm going to probably take a little different angle here. I'm going to say physical strength, actually. So, like, in terms of, look, there'll maybe be things obviously interconnected physically and mentally.
Yep.
I'm not kind of downplaying the mental side, but I'm going to kind of take it from the angle growing up as a kid. I think being physically strong goes a long way, particularly when you are finding your feet in school, in social situations, talking about how, what a big difference there is when kids start school a bit later. They're probably a bit bigger, a bit stronger, and they're just able to kind of be around situations where they're less susceptible to maybe, bullying or push around.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think that flows into a strong mental health.
So it's like
sense.
you own your space.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean physical strength, you're fighting other kids or
No.
whatever, but it's like
Yes.
I can own my space.
Yes.
I can own this space.
That's right.
Having
so-
strength to back that up.
And I think because on the reverse, you could go, oh yeah, the mental strength is what's most important. But I find where your mental health gets affected the most is in those early years. You look at all of that kind of childhood trauma kind of stuff growing up. Oh, that time you kind of were that outcast, pushed around, and then they grow up with that fear and that manifests and grow. Whereas, I'd love for my kids to skip all of that and just be able to, be confident and own their space in a physical kind of way. And then from that I think that builds into strong mental health.
I heard this statistic on a podcast that they said when there's 2 brothers, the youngest one, when they're both playing sport or whatever, it translates into MMA mostly they're talking about, but the youngest one will always become, or normally generally becomes better than the older one because of that
100%.
because of that niggle and that picking on the younger brother,
Yes.
it tends to, one, mentally develop them, and then two, once their body catches up to their mind, it's like now they can
Yes.
excel and they have that edge to go
You've
forward.
got a younger brother who's much bigger than you. How are you coping with that?
Ooh, hey, you want to tell
No
us something?
comment.
Hey, look, I
All
still
in the
remember.
mind.
I still remember that one day at a footy gala day. Little brother was trying to just kind of push his weight around, and then George had to step in and go, "Actually, I'm gonna put this to rest."
Sit down.
See, the mental battle's already won.
Exactly.
The
Like,
mental-
George doing the right thing as the older brothers. His little brother's carrying on, trying to pushing everyone around, thinking he's a tough guy. So George's, all right, we're gonna settle this. Ball in hand, let's run it straight, and then we'll
OG.
Sit somebody down.
someone's gonna sit down, and trust me, George was not sat down after that.
My pop has one of the greatest quotes I think I've ever heard was from my pop, and so my uncle was in some junior footy, played for the Eels and some lower grade Eels sort of things, and he got to the age where he's a bit taller than my pop, he's bigger, and he's starting to sort of like I can throw my weight around a little bit at home. And as my dad says it, he just, this one day, my uncle's trying to, I'm the man. And my pop just sort of grabbed him and just, you might be big enough, but are you good enough? I just let him go.
Love it.
And my uncle just, actually, Pop fought in the World Wars. Like, I'll back off from here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm sprinting. I'm gone.
My dad said that was kind of the end of that little era. My uncle just backed away a little bit. Ooh, actually, I don't think I want to test my dad like that.
Yep.
Definitely a part of it. My younger brother was bigger than me by the time he was like 9, and I'm way older than him. And he just was huge. So there was definitely some differences there. When you say physical and mental strength, I'm going to suggest a different side of it. I'll give you a different answer in a second, but what you were saying about sort of owning your space and all that sort of thing, definitely experienced some of that. I was the skinniest kid growing up, and as simple as like walking through a crowd. Like when you're the super skinny little kid, walking through a crowd is different. Like you can squeeze through all the places no one else can, but that ends with people walk towards each other and you just naturally are like, I'm going to turn sideways and squeeze past them, and a much less confident sort of approach to life, just because like I'm the little guy, and like if I'm bumped, I'm the one who gets bumped back all the time, and I'm that. And I mean, that was just natural for me. I was a tiny little skinny kid, and that happened. Then I now notice, got older, started going to the gym. I'm not the skinniest kid around anymore, but I still will notice that I'll walk like that through, like walking through a crowd, someone walking towards me, and I'll kind of step out of the way. And it's not a manners thing. Like obviously it's nice to manners, and I'll open doors for people, but it's not like I'm dipping my shoulders out of the way in manners. It's just like that's the way I move through the world, because I was this tiny skinny kid and think about those sorts of things. And so that definitely has this kind of impact on how you go about things, what you do.
Yes.
But my answer actually I'm going to say physical strength is more important for a subtle go back around the opposite way, is that physical strength now most typically means that you have worked on something, and so you probably have developed because of that mental strength as well. If you're just born physically strong, I don't think that gives you that's that important, but it's in some sense it's whichever one you have invested more into and built. And if you're building physical strength, that requires you to have been disciplined at the gym, requires you to have worked hard, have pushed yourself, have done all these other things, that then at some point you turn around and realize like, oh, I can do that. I can struggle and fail and get back and try again. I can have some consistency and routine. And then eventually you start to realize like that translates, like that works at my workplace, that works at this other place, that works in this other place. So subtle answer, I'm going to say physical strength, because it's building mental strength.
It's double
This is a double standard answer.
So it's all of above. Indeed.
Yes, they're both together. Obviously, they are very, very linked. And just being physically strong, I don't think gives you that much advantage in life anymore. We are in a different kind of society, for good or bad. So a bit of a Jordan Peterson thing around saying like you need to, as a man, have some threat about you that says like, I could have some aggression.
Yeah.
And so physical strength obviously backs some of that up. And we've then talked a couple of times among us about being gracious to other people, or meek in the Bible actually is about having physical strength and not using it, holding it back.
I'll add on to a little caveat onto that, but I think the size and the physicality of that, but I think even how you posture yourself, I would say, because I think if we just go, oh, like I'm a big guy, small guy, but I think regardless of even that size, I think it's the posture of the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? It's even just the way you carry.
It's a confidence.
As
thing.
we all sit up a bit straighter, and suddenly everyone's chests are out.
But like you can be a big guy and be a closed off person, or you can be a small guy and carry. It's the way you carry that posture. Of the, and I think that flows into what real strength is, and
I mean that's that
weakness,
physical strength or lack of playing out into a mental strength in a confidence in yourself. And physical strength is one way to get some confidence in yourself, but it's not necessarily the only way, and it can backfire if you're the little tiny guy who's got to fight for everything, and you got to speak up every single time.
Small man syndrome. I think I think of someone.
Shocking.
I think of someone with a
It can happen.
small man syndrome. Shout out.
It can happen, and
name.
and they can,
I don't think we can.
there's no need for names
I
for
don't
that.
think we need to. That's already said.
Absolutely. So, I guess general answer. I'm saying that it's physical building mental, but the mental is what applies and translates more. In life.
I think it's the difference making.
Yeah, big time.
Absolutely. So thinking about strengths a different way then, looking at some of your own strengths and a little bit of self-reflection time and sharing and what are some of your strengths, but then more particularly, how do you actually use that? So at work we've had to do this strengths testing thing, and it comes back and tells you. And apparently mine is communication. But most specifically, that's likes to talk too much, which is maybe why I'm really keen on this whole podcast thing. Good at getting a message across, talks way too much, doesn't listen to other people, but a communication is a strength. Certainly easy for convincing people when you want to get something going, like getting 4 guys into a room to run a podcast. Some strengths, some things that you are good at, and then how you use that effectively.
I gotta go see what the rookies got to say.
I don't know. You guys all did a test, and I don't. To be honest with you, I got asked something similar a while ago. Like, if you could explain yourself in 3 words, what would it? And I thought I never really reflect like that. I've never given it time to think and really like just actually have a good answer for the question. Like, I've just never spent time reflecting. I don't know. A strength though, I don't know. Pretty easy going, I guess, would be. I guess that translates to everything as well as just being flexible.
Flexible is the word that I would have used there. Easygoing makes people think that you just don't care. But if you say flexible, suddenly it sounds a lot better.
Put that on the resume.
Hey, he's a guy, he can go with the flow.
I've seen him in the gym.
I think flexible is a pretty key one for
Wait a minute.
for a PE teacher. That PE teachers, for any future PE teachers listening, that flexibility is nearly the most important skill, because it just takes rain one day and your entire 6-period day is cancelled, and you better make it up on the fly because it just started raining. And not any other teachers are often affected by that sudden a change to what you're doing.
It's a 3-step lesson plan. The 3 steps before you get into the room.
And
make sure you got your plan.
Figure those things out. Clem, give us some strengths and how you use those.
I completely have forgotten any of my testing, so this
I
is
don't
not
care about the
backed.
test, but what you think.
Sure, what I think? I think I would say the kind of flexibility, maybe strength in just kind of thinking on the fly. I feel like the more situations you're put into that, the better you become. So I don't think it's natural, but it's good to put yourself in some of those situations. Like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Quickly come up with something. And I think that really adds to your craft. And then I think another strength, I guess, is I like to think that I spend most of my time trying to build kind of rapport, relationships with students. And I'll say, like, if I could even get specifics, I would say, like, boys' education, particularly in terms of not just teaching them, but building a relationship to really get to know them, get to hopefully impart some wisdom and knowledge, and kind of get alongside them, do a bit of life with them. I would say kind of.
Remembering back to the official strength testing, not to I think the word the kids use is glaze, not to glaze Clem, but I think one of yours was around that you weren't something like not greedy for the spotlight, but happy to help build others up. And so then you've talked, I think, before about sort of enjoying other people's successes and helping 100%. Them there without it having to be about you.
For sure.
And I throw back to a previous episode on team building. Every team needs somebody like that is, you can't have everyone be the captain. You need people who are supporting the captain, supporting other people.
Man. That's my vibe.
Need some of those. Sam, give us some strengths and how you use it.
Yeah, no, just making sure I got my facts right. Basically, it's all about relationships. Sort of going off of Clem's point on that last one he was mentioning. It's all about community for me.
Nice.
So one strength that I build is not leaving anyone out. And it's funny, I actually looked at a Corinthians passage with my pastoral care boys today, and we looked at the body, and I essentially said, if one of the parts isn't there, it's not the same. So when I walk into the staff room and Josh isn't there, or Clem's not there, or Seika's not there, or George's not there, it's not the same. You know, it's like building that environment where people are connected, and you know, from there, hopefully relationships are strengthened.
Definitely another core part of PE teachers is while all teachers invest in students, and you become a teacher partly because you care about students, you want to build relationships with them. Any good teacher should have relationships with their students, where they know their students, all of those things. Pretty sure that's in some like official standards you need to do or something. Sam knows those. But for any good PE teacher, there is another step of that, in that our subject is learning about life. Like, it's learning about how to live a healthy, productive life and take care of your life. And if you can't build a relationship with people to do that, why would they care about what you say about their life?
Real quick before you go on, one that really stood out to me as well when I did the Clifton Strengths tests, and we actually had a conversation with some important people. My top 10 competitiveness was up there, and I sort of wanted to see, you know, is that a negative? Can you be competitive in a Christian environment?
Yeah, man. I think that I think it should be. Like, I don't know. I think there's different ways to take it. I would word it in a way, you're competitive. It means you care.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm never going to deny someone that cares about what they're doing. In other words, your passion, investment. Like,
you care about the outcome, like you're invested in it.
Exactly. You're part of it, which is the complete opposite of what we talk about, that, you know, that NPC kind of.
The clanker.
Yeah, the clanker. That, oh, yeah, whatever. My biggest line with when a kid, or even my own kids, will say is like, oh, yeah, like, that's all right, I don't care. Yeah. And my line is always, that's actually what the problem is. It's like, I don't care what we're talking about, but the fact that, yeah, no, it's all good, whatever, I don't care.
The apathy.
Is actually, that's the problem. The problem is that you don't care.
Yeah.
And it's not even about you not doing A, B, C, D, da, da, da. It's about just that line. Yeah, you're right, 100% right there. Let's capture that. Why? Why do you have to be the person that just doesn't care? It's okay. And you know, I like to say it's okay to care. It's good to care.
Can you guys give us an example, because obviously we're still freshies, of maybe even in the staff or with other schools that you guys might have seen you guys personally be motivated or be competitive in that sense?
There should be, but if you have like multiple PE classes for year 11 and 12,
yep,
you naturally should have a little bit of a care about like which kids you got in your class and outperforming the other person in terms of end results. And at the end of the day, it's like kind of like we performed as a school.
Yep.
But if there's not some little bit in you that's like, I got to show what I can do. If you don't care, then you're going to not do a great job. There's got to be some bit. And, you know, damn, my kid ended up coming second. The one that I taught came second, and the other teacher, they came first and whatever. Like, at the end of the day, we're glad for the person who came first. But if there wasn't some little bit in you that drove you, then you probably wouldn't have pushed it hard enough with your students, and you didn't drive your students hard enough. So you got to have some level of care about what you're doing. And I'd almost restate the competitiveness as like, how much do you care about it, or how much does it matter to you?
It's that investment.
Yeah. I mean, where it goes bad is when it's like run over the top of other
Yeah,
people
of
to
course.
get there. But
Yeah,
as long as you're not
fine.
actually just a jerk to other
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and you're not cheating or like ripping people off,
yes.
then it's an investment or care about like, I want to show what I can do. I want to prove that I'm at the top level. I'm good enough at this, and that's where I see it. Any that come to mind, Clem?
For
Benefits of competitiveness in a school.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always think of it as like there's a reason why the 100-meter race isn't run individually. Like, there's a reason why there's 8 lanes on a track and 8 lanes in a swimming pool.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not a swimmer, but because we want kids to, or people racing next to one another, because that is the way you get the best out of each other. Like, I know for a fact that when I was in school, if I ran the 100 meters on an empty track by myself versus when I was running in the in the final race against my best mate who was next to me running, and it was on the line, and we've been working on it. We've got the blocks out, the spikes are on. My time is significantly faster. I'm pushing harder, and we're getting the best out of each other. And that's how, it just came to me in my head that, that race that I did under 18s when I was at school and ran the 100 meters, 11.5 seconds. Like, I was going to get that time if I didn't have that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not getting, and so would I've ever got the best out of me in that?
Yeah.
So in the same with any other sports team, we want to drive the best out of you, of what you can achieve, and you have to do that. I guess not have to, but a lot of the time it's going to be in competition.
I think it only happens in the subtle middle of the race. Everyone's motivated to start, everyone's motivated to finish, but in that 60 through 80 meter mark in the 100, where everything's kind of just happening, if you don't have someone right there, you won't think about it, but you'll back off slightly. Like, you won't be really just driving in that little middle part. Everyone's going to finish strong. Everyone's going to try and start strong. But that middle section, that's probably where competitiveness drives you. If I don't hear someone just there as they're running, or see someone just in front of me that I'm trying to chase, that section's where you fade out and where you lose all that time and you lose the drive.
And then my last one is, how do you foster that in a healthy environment amongst the students? So from personal experience, right, I think that my grade when I was doing my ATAR did really well because everyone was so competitive. If one of my mates got 93 and we got 92, we're like, oh, we're fighting the teacher. Why didn't you give me that extra mark? But that actually pushed us, and it was healthy. Like, we didn't run over people because of that. But we actually collaborated. We went to the library to study together, and it was that motivated us. And we actually did really good as a school. How do you foster that in an environment and among students?
The first part is that everyone's driving each other. Like, you've got to encourage people to want to beat other people and want to drive. And the part where it plays out is the next day is in that moment where you're getting results. There's got to be, every kid compares to someone, and you're hoping that everyone is comparing to people who are excellent, instead of just like, well, I beat the guy who gets nothing, and so I'm not that bad. That attitude kills everything. But the attitude of like, I did pretty well, but that person did a bit better, and all of that's driving. But then the next day is, are you a jerk to that person the next day, or can you congratulate them and then drive harder the next day? Or are you trying to undermine them the next day? And so whatever happens in the follow-up to that, I think, is where you see whether it's healthy competition or not. Like, in the moment, everyone's going to feel competition of getting their result. And then the next day of how we foster that to move forward is either healthy or unhealthy, as it's like, you just got to get them. You got to get that person. Probably on the borderline of if that's going to be healthy or not. But like, I need to strive to be better. That person's working hard, so I've got to work hard. I mean, you're getting your Kobe in the gym kind of
man.
things. Like
Kobe mentality, Mamba.
if he's working that hard, I've got to work that hard. And so now I'm getting better, and now I can recognize I'm getting better. So I'm pulling someone else along. And then, so the last part of that is like, it's working both ways, that you are reaching up towards someone else, but then if it's really good competition, you're pulling someone else along with you. And you're saying, hey, I need someone to be pushing me from behind as well. Come on, you need to lift your game, step up to the rest of us.
Yep.
If you get that, I mean, now you're talking really good competition.
I often say, even in sport teams, back to that is, in competition, that halftime speech is, all right, like, these are those moments in this competition where we get to see what you really made of, like who you really are.
Yep.
Like kind of what are you really made of? This is like, what an opportunity to go to really find out who you really are in this moment. Are you going to be someone that is going to be like, a jerk about win at all cost in that competition, or, so whatever the outcome is, at least it's asking the question, who are you really? What's your character really like? Whether you do well on that exam or not, or you're burning because someone beats you, and it's like just that, even the chance to have that self-reflection and go,
absolutely gives you a great insight into your character. And I think that is one of the key things that you are getting out of any kind of competition. Is it shows you a reflection of your character, for good or bad.
Yeah, for good or bad.
If you are I don't care, or if you are I can't stand that other person because they beat me, or if you are driven and motivated. And man, time is flying by. We need an Ed segment. So Sam's taken over. Call me crazy. Apparently Sam has some wild thoughts lately.
So,
sorry.
good job. Good job.
I'm telling you, so it's just cultural appropriation.
Please don't cancel me out there. I'm not some crazy conspiracy theorist.
Let's go. Come on now. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Get it on right now.
Let's go. Let's get it.
I watched the footy over the weekend. I watched the footy over the weekend. And call me crazy. New South Wales house pairing next year, 2026. Ethan Strange at 5'8". Mitchell Moses at halfback.
Oh, stop the cap.
I don't hate the Mitchell Moses, but Ethan Strange,
Ethan Strange.
that is talking a bit of crazy stuff.
He's giving me some like Fittler, Laurie Daly, just
stop it.
Big body, quick, at 5'8", controlled.
Strange.
Once again, it's that 5'8" dilemma. What is he offering that like any other 5'8" can't do? That's just what comes to my mind straight away. Unless your name is Cameron Munster. Is he offering something different to Fletcher Sharp? Is he offering something different
100%.
to...
There's a big body, Ethan Strange.
So it's like a bigger kind of body, is it?
Well, he played in the centres, I think, coming through. So
He
He did. He played in the centres.
centres.
pretty
I
good
mean,
ball
that's all a 5'8" is nowadays. It's just a
Well,
5'8",
look at Dylan Brown.
a centre who passes a little bit more often.
Greatest 5'8", John Sutton.
Most of these guys don't know who he is.
You don't know you don't
bunnies.
Bro, come on.
Big boy.
They're a bit old for him.
They literally is like a second lock. They just play just extra forwards.
Maybe.
Big boys.
Well, that's running out of time. But Sam, we'll find out if you're crazy next year or not.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
see.
Hey,
Ethan Strange is a stretch. But we'll find out. Anyway, that is a wrap. Some good chat about strengths and see where that all ends up. And I think for this week, that's a wrap.
Let's go.